in which we're located is one of the lower socio-economic areas of the city, and most of the people that we serve are non-Muslims. 95% of the people that come to our soup kitchen are non-Muslims that live in the area. We also house in our facility a pre-medical clinic called the Yehuda Clinic, because there are so many people that do not have health insurance today. And they're able to come. We have volunteers of the Muslim doctors, we have nurses, specialists, and everything that come there, volunteer their time. It started off being once a week on Saturday. No, once every 2 weeks it started off Saturday from 10 until 2. And then it went to every week. And now it's twice a week on Wednesdays and Saturdays from 10 until 2. And these people give up their time to come and service the community. This just shows really, the fallacy and the ignorance of this Islamophobia that's pushing through the country. We always hear a cry for moderate Muslims, whatever that means. I think what it means is just good law-abiding citizens that live their religion as the way that is written. The ground zero imam is an imam something like myself, one who has been out in the community. He has a very good reputation of working with the community, with interfaith groups, and he's been sent over to represent this country on numerous occasions. So for the enemies of peace to target him and this project really is a great disservice. He is really just like we are here in Detroit. So we wanted to point out this to make sure that people know that the good things that Muslims are doing, as CAIR-MI is doing with the AOK Day coming up, a great event coming up. So thank you, and more questions later.
Give them Muslim Church address so people can come if they want health screenings on 9/11.
Okay, we're located at 1605 West Davison, at the corner of Woodrow Wilson, right adjacent to the large freeway. The soup kitchen operates every Saturday at 12 noon. From 12 they come. We also give them bags and boxes every week to take home. They come and have a good, hot, nutritious meal, and then they take home boxes of potatoes or cabbage or cornflakes or whatever that we have. So you're very welcome to come by and see that, as well as visit the clinic.
I just wanted to add that the location of the service on 9/11, it's listed on the press release I gave you. It's Clark Park. It's there.
Clark Park?
It's also on our website.
We can take any of your questions, and afterwards, if those who want to see the public service announcement, you can then come closer and we can show it to you. And obviously you'll need the microphones close by the computer, so I can turn the laptop around and show you the public service announcements. Do you have any questions for myself or Mr. Begg or the imam?
What forms have some people express their Islamophobia locally?
In what forms?
Yeah, you talked about some of the national attacks and events, but what's been happening locally?
Well, locally there have been a lot of questions from some, you might say, right-wing Christians, or what these people that are really, some of them really don't know, but they're asking, why are you trying to move to ground zero? What's the point? Why don't you move someplace else? I've been explaining to them that this is a legal entity that they're doing. It's a very good community center, the same as we have on Davison there, and have a right to do it. And also, the type of Muslims that inhabit this is not the radical ones that you see on television, usually in different countries, raising their fist up, shouting death to America. That's a very small minority of people, but the majority of Muslims are law-abiding, civic-minded, civil-minded people. But at our mosque particularly, we haven't had any acts of vandalism or violence directed at us, but just words and questions and opinions that it should not be there.
Was this reaction at all anticipated? I guess.
Actually, I was very surprised at it, but I believe that I see the source of where the information is coming from. It's from the enemies of peace. I won't say the enemies of Islam, but the enemies of peace in the society that want to keep turmoil going in the society. It might be for political reasons, I don't know, but I know the enemies of peace originated this story, manufactured it, and are pumping the society with inaccurate information and Islamophobic comments to inflame their senses and their sensitivities, to turn them away from peace and progress.
If I could make a comment briefly, actually, from our organizational perspective at CAIR, we did somewhat anticipate some of this anti-Muslim pushback. Keep in mind that the controversy in Lower Manhattan actually is not at Ground Zero. It's more than 2 blocks away, and it's not a mosque. It's actually a community center that's being built that's going to be planned to have a swimming pool, basketball court, a kitchen to teach culinary arts, a number of things, and an area for interfaith activities, as well as a mosque for prayer. We've seen across the country a number of well-organized campaigns in regards to resisting the construction of mosques, not just in Lower Manhattan, but also in Long Island, in Kentucky, Tennessee, Wisconsin, California. It's a nationwide trend that's been going on. The situation in Lower Manhattan is received the most publicity. I will also say that many of these anti-Muslim bigots that have started this campaign and spewing anti-Muslim vitriol are some of the same people that are involved within the Tea Party movement. Some of the same elements in the Tea Party movement who are birthers and have been in favor of the Arizona anti-immigration legislation are some of the same people who are spewing this anti-Muslim rhetoric and vitriol. So this being a midterm election cycle, we did somewhat anticipate that some politicians who don't have a strong platform will use the politics of fear to try to garner more votes for themselves. And we call on the national and state political leaders to speak out against Islamophobia. We've seen on the national level, former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich, in his protesting to the community center in Lower Manhattan, he equated Islam with Nazism. That should not be allowed by anyone within the GOP, both Michael Steele on the national level or the state GOP. Leaders should speak out against what Newt Gingrich and what Sarah Palin are spewing at the national level. I'd like to make a comment about this.
I really want to thank the Interfaith Alliances, including our local media. As a council, we have not received any information regarding anything like what's going on across the country. However, the bigger problem is psychological. When you get up in the morning, you turn the radio on, you watch the TV, read the newspaper, it's all over. And our concern is primarily how it's going to affect our kids. I know of a situation, a young girl was telling me some of her best friends at school are discussing on the website and are taking sides on this question of whether the mosque should be there or shouldn't be there. So, you know, the kind of effect that we feel is very subtle, and I really want to thank the good people of the state of Michigan, and including some of the members of the GOP here. I happen to be a registered Republican, and I've spoken to many Republican leaders. This morning I was at school reopening in Bloomfield Hills, the school board I served, and I met